Hi, today it is Saturday the 25th of April 2020 and the sun is in Taurus and the moon is in waxing Gemini at 2 degrees. So we've got some major stuff going on today around planetary cycles, and this is really key for the rest of the year until October. Pluto goes retrograde in Capricorn, so we're going over old ground around our shadow, around the patriarchal code, and in particular where this is in your chart is key for you. Today we start a powerful 13-day cycle of transformation in Blue Hand. I'm a Blue Hand, and this is currently the cycle that I'm in. I'm in the 11th year of this now, and so today is really about revisiting 11 years ago for me and what started at that time. In terms of the calendar, here we are. So we began this cycle on the 30th of March, and we had 13 days of Red Dragon, which is the initiation of what the Great Mother is bringing us. And Red Dragon is really about our survival issues. It's also the Mayan Oracle card that I got today. So go back to that time, think what was happening then. We'd had 7 days of lockdown in the UK, and how you were feeling then and how are you feeling now. After that first 13 days, we had 13 days of the Moon Goddess, White Wizard. That's the next code. So again, we have red awakening, white is refining. So we've been refining that initial cycle, and maybe like several people I've been talking to recently on Zoom, the energy's shifted. We've become more accustomed, more aware of different energies, different situations. Maybe we've calmed down a bit and come into more acceptance and surrender and not as much fear. So just notice that the white 13-day process is always about refinement and coming into truth. And then we go into Blue Hand, which is about transformation. So the blue 13-day cycle that comes next is always about transformation of the first two, so the first 26 days. Blue Hand is all about shaping our destiny, using tools to be able to embody the avatar that we really are. And so in however way you see that, to do with the spirit, embodiment of the spirit, the higher self, we've come here to transform our human being story at this time, and it's a huge time. I hadn't realised all these years that I've been talking about this, I had no idea of how that was going to manifest. And again, I think most astrologers, they knew something big was happening this year with Saturn going into Aquarius, but didn't actually know what that was going to be. So now we know. And this is what we're working with. So in terms of the moon degree today, so Gemini at 2 degrees. So we've got the North Node going into Gemini on May the 5th, and I'm going to be doing a workshop about that specifically because this is my North Node in Gemini as well, so very key for me. So what we're experiencing now is going to be really what we're going to be working with. So again, it's using the calendar to have conscious awareness of what we're going to be working with, what we are working with each day, and shaping our destiny through healing our own personal heart story. That's how we create the change. A collection of large dried leaves, each one bearing an inscription. A neatly compacted little world. Everything fits together splendidly. Each detail is highlighted, mentally known to be right where it belongs, but everything is static. No movement destroys the coherence. You remember the way it's supposed to be and reconstitutes all good things from the past, while inwardly craving to break through to something new. The familiar mental categories accompany you everywhere. Knowing exactly what is happening is highly valued. 1,000 practical gifts are made easy. Everything works smoothly. The socio-cultural sphere is well served. But underneath, slowly, gradually, you are losing all interest in this pattern and seeking a way out of it. Whoa, yeah. Which is the fullness of time. Maybe there, if you can let go of the need to please everybody and make perfect sense and discover the great bulk of your being lying dormant, waiting for the future to dawn. Needing relief and release to feel alive again and to know that it's possible to find real satisfaction in living. Just blows me away, really does, when I see and read these glyphs. aquaorfire.net is the website, it's inside degrees. So the more that I discover about astrology, these, again, blue hand tools that we can use to shape our destiny, the more I really trust and believe the bigger picture around what's happening on the planet for our conscious evolution, no matter how difficult it is, no matter how hard it is at this time. This is what needs to happen for us to wake up and move to the next stage by moving through all of our projections on the world stage of our own individual snapshot, our own individual experience. This is what Gemini energy is. It's about data, it's how to work with data, information, how to process it, and how to understand the mind as well, very much around the belief systems that each one of us has and the collective one. Of course, all of us impact on the collective. We're not in this as an island to ourselves, and that's so key about the individuation process right now. Yes, we are all individuals and we are all on the path wherever we are doing a process. At the same time, we have a responsibility to the collective. We have a responsibility to humanity and to what's happening in our society, our global society on the planet, because we are all interdependent on each other, and that now is being shown more than ever. At the moment, we're still getting a playoff around how some people are more important than other people. My offering, my belief is we're all important, we're all essential. Every blade of grass in this Earth Mother game on planet Earth is so key to the bigger picture, and really seeing what is happening now on a deeper level is very important as to how each day is shaping the future. So back to Pluto in retrograde. What does that mean? I'm just going to read from an article. So I just picked an article here from Astrology King, and again, follow your own cosmic cookie trail on this. Remember, each one of us is a holograph with an energetic pattern, and this is so key to understanding the shaping your destiny process. It isn't about what we think, it isn't about what we say in a deeper perspective. It's about our energy and our knowing what our pattern is, knowing what journey we're on in this lifetime, which we already know because it's already happened, and we're just constantly evolving that pattern, our ancestral line, to understand how it was created and let go of anything that is based on fear, that is not appropriate right now, that is projecting out right now from our past, so we can see it and heal it. So this begins, this retrograde today, at 25 degrees in Capricorn, and it ends on the 4th of October at 22 degrees in Capricorn. Where Capricorn is in your chart is really key. And if you want to check out your chart, again, Google how to create a free natal chart. And there is all the information you need out there to guide you through it. This is about self-empowerment time. It's about learning how to do things for ourselves. So in terms of this major influence, it's Jupiter conjunct Pluto. And it's all about the fear of death, which we're seeing massively with the virus situation that's out on the world stage. So through this, it means that we have an expansion of the shadow. We have an expansion around understanding that and mastery of that. That's what I offer you. That's my perspective on it. So this year is really a test of faith, seeing where we are, seeing what's happening for us, seeing how grounded we are. And let's just see if there's anything else key in there. So yeah, again, all the things that are happening is, you know, basically we are being stopped from doing what we normally do, the normal pattern that we do, in order to see how that feels. So again, all these conditions around control. If you look up the Persephone myth, you have Pluto, who's also called Hades, and so the masculine who abducts Persephone and rapes her, holds her underground, and Demeter, the mother, who comes to find her. And this is in many different forms, in many different myths. And so again, on a personal level, this is about where we've been hijacked, where we've been abducted in whatever way, where we've experienced trauma through aggressive behaviour, particularly when we were an adolescent. And so this particular article that I'm reading from is astrologyking.com, and gives lots of information on there about what's happening during this period. If you've got Pluto retrograde in your personal chart, it will have a little R next to it. And again, this Pluto retrograde cycle will be really impacting on you, even if you don't have Pluto in Capricorn. If you do have Pluto in Capricorn, it will be very key for you, because you will be going over a very specific journey with the planetary transit. And so again, people who have Saturn in Capricorn and Pluto in Capricorn, so round about 30 years of age, this is going to be extremely key for you this time, where you'll be going over manipulations and control issues and experiencing out in the world past events. And this is what I offer you. This is what happens to us all, which is why if you get focused on knowing what your emotional trauma is, with the intention of healing it and then learning how to heal it. So I use emotional freedom technique, and I'm going to be setting up a monthly group to facilitate a process, a tapping circle, so that people can join and learn how to shift this energy. Because it's my understanding and my belief that if we don't do this, if we don't heal this, this again is what the Mayan 260-day Wavespell is all about. It's about human beings understanding what has created trauma for them. And first of all, stop doing it anymore, which is not easy. If you have an addiction, for example, how easy is it to stop that addiction? Understanding how the emotional mind works is key, because it's not logical. It's something that we have become accustomed to, that it just becomes our comfort zone. And so we keep doing it, even though it's not healthy for us. And whilst we can learn intellectually new ways of being, we have to change the amygdala. We have to change the inner structure within our body in order for us to stop doing this behaviour. Gabor Mate is great for explaining that, and how if people don't understand what's driving addictions, which is emotional pain, then they're not seeing the bigger picture. They're not understanding what is really going on. So if we're using things to self-medicate, which I guess a lot of people are at this time, so it could be alcohol, it could be drugs, it could be sugar, it could be any manner of things that change our mood. It's key to understand what's driving this and how our body works, how our mind works, in order to stop doing it, rewire ourselves, and start doing healthier things instead. And as we start to do that, and as we start to work through our shadow issues and heal them, then we don't have to keep experiencing them, if that makes sense. Because my understanding is the whole point of these things happening over and over again, so getting stuck on the labyrinth, on this repeating pattern, this is Saturn, keep bringing it round. It will keep coming round, and the message will get louder, and the lessons will get stronger and harder until people stop doing these behaviours. So in this transition period at this time, this is about understanding where we're at on the planet right now because of what's come before. And if you think back to the last Cancer and Capricorn North Node and South Node, which is now on the planet, this was around the 9/11 time. Look at what happened then in history. Look at what has happened over time, where people have been unaware, unconscious, just doing the same old behaviours. How many people, when this is over, hopefully this is going to be over in some way soon, are just going to go back to doing what they did before? Because that's how they're wired. And if they haven't had any intervention, if they hadn't made some sort of healing intervention during this period, then how can they not go back to doing the same thing? Because this is energetically how we work as human beings. If we don't consciously heal and change on the inside, how can the outside change? How can we learn new behaviours? How can we have new belief systems? We can't. It's impossible, and it's insane to say that we can, or to believe that we can. Human being emotional mind patterns are very much based on just getting emotional needs met, whether that's boosting the blood sugar levels in an unhealthy way, or doing activities involving substances that stop us thinking straight, that stop us from saying, hang on a minute, I don't want to be doing that anymore. I don't want to be doing that again. I need to be stopping doing that. Because when I get sober, I feel terrible about what I've done. My body feels terrible. You know, big clue, if your body doesn't feel good after doing something, it's not good for you at all. You know, if your body shape starts to change because of something you're putting into it, it's not good for you. There's something there, there's more going in than your body can cope with. So just on that basis alone, you know, there's something that needs to change to be a healthy human being. And this is what this time is about. It's about taking full responsibility for our own personal health and well-being, rather than the old model, which is somebody else seeming to know more about us than we do. And, you know, in terms of data, the Gemini, they actually do. They know everything about us if we've been on certain media, because, or we've bought at a certain store, because all of that information is being collated now to profile us, in order to sell us things, in order to understand us on a deeper level. And is that healthy? Did we give our permission to do that as well? You know, informed consent around these things. Lots of things have gone on over history where there has been no conscious informed consent, absolutely no awareness of things going on in society, where people have a responsibility to the society, because the society has actually paid and put them in that place as a servant to society. And that has now become very distorted indeed. So time for us as a collective to re-examine how our society is operating and how it's serving us, and start to make different choices from today. And again, that's back to being an individual and creating a shift on a personal level as a starting point, because the more that we come into an empowered space and let go of our anger, let go of our sadness, then we become more grounded, we become more centered, and our energy blueprint changes. So as with all of these things, the focus has to be on I first, and then how I interact with the greater, wider world around me. I hope you have an amazing 13 days of shaping your destiny with conscious process. And if you'd like to know more information about your conscious codes, cosmic codes, your emotional mind codes, and how to use these different frameworks to heal yourself and to empower yourself, and in doing so change the world, which is what is written for this time, please do get in touch with me. My blog and website is flowwithjo.com. Lots of love to you. Hope you have an amazing day. Bye for now.